Hello, race fans. I am Brian Wiggins, and here is your starting lineup for the 53rd Annual Great American Race, the Daytona 500. On the pole, the 2004 winner of the 500, Dale Earnhardt Jr., who goes to the back of the pack due to a practice crash on Wednesday, and four-time Cup Series champion and three-time winner of the Daytona 500, Jeff Gordon, making his 19th 500 appearance. Row 2 has Kurt Busch, the 2004 NASCAR Cup Series champion, and his new Penske Racing entry. And South Pleasant's own Jeff Burton got his first Speed Weeks win in Thursday's dual races. Row 3 has New York's Regan Smith in his Chevy, and 2008 NASCAR Nationwide champion Clint Bowyer from Kansas. Row 4, the 2007 champion of the 500, Kevin Harvick, donning his new Budweiser colors. In 2001 and 2003 champion of the 500, Michael Waltrip, running a special tribute scheme to his win in this race 10 years ago. Row 5 is the 2003 Cup champion. In 2009 winner of the 500, Matt Kenseth. And Rowdy Kyle Busch, the 2009 NASCAR Nationwide Series champion, starts alongside his Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota. Row 6, Washington's Casey Kane and his Red Bull entry. And how about Michigan's Brian Keselowski getting his family-owned Dodge into the starting field? Row 7's an all-Earnhardt Ganassi row with Bogota, Colombia's Juan Pablo Montoya and defending 500 champion Jim McMurray alongside him. Row 8, AJ Allmendinger sits behind the wheel of King Richard's 43 for the second straight season, and 2010 Nationwide champion Brad Keselowski. Row 9, NASCAR's here bridesmaid Mark Martin is Hendrick Chevy, and Air Hammond himself, Denny Hamlin, is Joe Gibbs Toyota. Row 10, Wisconsin's Paul Menard is new Richard Childress Racing Chevy, and Martin Truex Jr., the two-time Nationwide champion from New Jersey. Row 11, the Rocket Man, 2008 winner of the 500, Ryan Newman, and the winner of the last two races from the 2010 season, Carl Edwards in his Ford. Row 12, the five-time defending Sprint Cup Series champion, Jimmy Johnson, and Florida's own David Rubin starts alongside him in his Aaron's Michael Waltrip Toyota. Row 13, two-time Cup Series champion Tony Stewart looking for his first 500 win, and former truck and Nationwide champion Greg Biffle in his Ford. Row 14, welcome back Brian Vickers after being forced out most of the 2010 season due to blood clots, and Robert Richardson Jr. has his Ford for the show for the second straight year. Row 15, Austin Bill from Dawsonville for the first time in his career starts his season off as a Team Chevy driver, and off-road ace Robbie Gordon in his South Phone Dodge. Row 16, 2000 Cup Series champion Bobby Labonte driving for JTG Doherty, and outstanding 200-year-old Trevor Bayne driving for the Wood Brothers. Row 17, J.J. Yaley gets Dusty Whitney's Chevrolet to the 500 for the first time, and Unadilla, Georgia's David Reagan in his UPS Ford. Row 18, the Thunder from Down Under, Marcus Ambrose racing for the King, and Rusty Wallace's son, Stephen Wallace, driving Rusty's own Toyota. Row 19, rookie contender and roller racing champion Andy Lally for the Racers Group, and Mr. 203 himself, Joey Logano. Row 20, it's an all-row motorsports row with Riverside, California's David Gillen, and 2003 Truck Series champion Travis Kvapil. Row 21, give a shout out to Joe Nemechek. He was the fastest Toyota in last Sunday's qualifying, and Ohio's own Dave Blaney driving for Tommy Baldwin Racing. And starting shotgun on the field all by himself, the two-time Cup Series champion Terry Labonte and his Fastlane Racing Ford. And that is your starting field for the 2011 Great American Race, the Daytona 500. I hope you all have a great 500 weekend.